This story is in regard to mental health. If you or a loved one are suffering currently, please consult your local hotline or seek help. There's always someone who loves you or will love you around the corner. A special thanks to Charles Bukowski and Dale Windborough. And now for a short poem by our very own E.S. Henry.
My Own Best Enemy, an original poem written for Radioverse by E.S. Henry. You look in my eyes, and you know what I see, what you think, how you feel, and what you try to believe. I see the uncertainty all over your face. And with all your questions have come to the right place. You've come to me, and you seek my advice, and I'm happy to help. You don't have to ask twice. We both know you're slow, and that you don't understand common knowledge to others. But my help is at hand. You're not very handsome, and you're ugly. It's true. You have nothing to offer to anyone who might like to get to know you, to like you, or who might even come to love you. It's harsh, but it's true. You're not tall enough, and a bit overweight. You'll be alone forever, so get used to your fate. Your skin is imperfect, and you'll never compare to people much better and with much better hair. It's tousled and frazzled, and it's always a mess. Why you don't shave it off, we'll both never guess. You're a disgrace to your family, your friends, and yourself. And we'll both always wish that you were someone else. Your flaws are quite endless, but the list is all true. And I'm really quite thankful that I'll never be you. I'm glad you came to me to ask my advice. I'll always be honest, and you won't have to ask twice. But remember one thing. In my eyes, when you stare, that I know what you fear and the doubts that live there. One of these days you might realize that your man in your mirror quite often lies. So trust my advice. If you risk, if you dare, I'll destroy you with truth. And I'll always be there.
As the static fades and the voices fill the speakers, the road you're travelling, the room you're sitting in, it'll start to twist and turn, becoming something beyond ordinary, something beyond this world. Join us as we travel beyond the stars, deep underground, or in the innermost depths of the human mind. You just tuned into the Radioverse.
In contrast to Oppenheimer, I've become life, creator of worlds, only after I died. I'll start from the beginning. After all, that's the best way to tell this story.
A fractured mirror, blood pooling down the side of the countertop, and a body lying hunched into the drain. The aftermath and the beginning of the story. The world seemed to drift like the tide on the sand. The lousy, poorly lit bathroom became a beach. The vast ocean faced a cliff, illuminated by the silver glow of the moon. Julius stood up, looking around, feeling the throbbing pulse of where the bullet entered his face just a moment ago. Feeling nothing but skin, he started to panic, calling out,
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Julius looks up at the sky towards the source of the song. An incandescent blue bird flies through the air. He runs after it, tripping on his own 2 feet. For some reason, he feels compelled to follow it.
Wait! Don't leave me here!
He didn't even know where he was or what happened. The faster he ran, the faster the blue bird flew. Julius tripped over some driftwood and fell face first onto the sand. He slammed his fist down a few times before looking up. The blue bird was perched on a sign.
Took you long enough.
Julius looked up at the bird and then at the moon. He couldn't comprehend the insanity of the moment.
Are you just going to lay there all day?
I might. How are you talking right now?
Is that really what you want to know?
Julius sat up in the sand. He looked around, at the blue bird, at the ocean, at the darkness that surrounded him, and finally at the sign. 2 arrows pointed in different directions. The words were illegible.
Of course not. Am I dead? Where am I? Is this it? Am I going to hell? I was just in a bathroom a moment ago, and now I'm on a beach? What does that sign say? And yes, I am talking to a blue bird. I thought everything would be over.
Why would you want everything to be over?
I don't know. Things were so difficult. But I can't really remember what was so bad. My memories are really fuzzy. I just know that...
You made the right choice?
Julius laid back on the sand, the moonlight pouring over his body, maybe tempting him to become nothing, to fade into the sand and be carried off by the breeze. For a second, he felt himself drift, piece by piece, sinking into eternity. Julius started to panic. His heartbeat started racing before he opened his eyes and jumped to his feet.
Doesn't seem like you want everything to end.
Oh, shut up. Who asked you?
Just an observation. I'm good at those.
Julius turned his back on the bird, looking in every direction. No lights, no change in scenery, just the ocean and the sand.
So, this is it. This is how I'm going to spend eternity?
If you've given up, it is.
The blue bird began to sing again, flapping its wings before lifting off the sign, heading towards the direction one of the arrows was pointing towards. Julius paced back and forth before looking towards the glowing blue light, growing more distant in the darkness. He wanted to scream or cry, but the encroaching darkness scared him. He didn't know why.
Hey, wait up! I'm coming!
Julius stood in front of a giant labyrinth. The large columns, dark and imposing, breaching the sky. Even the moonlight didn't reach the interior. The bluebird's light was far into the labyrinth. Julius took a second before looking back at the rolling tide, before running in after the bluebird.
I'm going to regret this.
Julius's feet beat against the sand for a moment before he felt grass and concrete. The hedges or columns stretched to the sky, blotting out any and all light.
Hey! Where did you go?
Julius felt around the walls. His hands were slowly scratched by thorns instead. He pulled his hands away quickly, expecting pain. Instead, he didn't feel the blood seep from his cuts.
You took so long I flew ahead.
I noticed. How am I already lost?
Looking ahead, he saw the gentle, flapping wings of the bright blue bird. They turned the corner and saw a window in the middle of a hedge. Julius looked back and forth between the bluebird and the window.
Go on.
Why is there a window here?
Eyes are windows to the soul, aren't they? Why don't you look in?
He hesitated for a second before slowly walking up to the window. Each dragging step felt like an eternity. When Julius peered in, Julius saw a child's bedroom.
What is this?
Doesn't it look familiar?
It's a kid's bedroom.
Look at the poster.
Poster? Wait. Is this my room?
Julius gazed at the poster, a movie poster for Scarface. He remembered he was 9 and his parents let him put it up. The feelings and thoughts rushed back. How happy he was, proud even. The desk he never used, just piled anything out of his pockets on it. The television, him and his brother snuck into the room from a discarded yard. The hours spent behind it together.
Why am I looking at this?
This has nothing to do with me. This labyrinth contains your memories. What happened in your room that led you to your decision?
My parents were fantastic to us. Dad always worked hard and Mom always went easy on us. But they hated each other. At night, sometimes my brother would sneak into my room.
As Julius starts to describe the scene, the bedroom bursts into life. A 9-year-old who sat up, a 7-year-old opening and closing the door quietly. They heard the screaming and banging outside the room. They didn't say anything to each other. They just sat and turned on the television and started up a game.
They would have these real vicious fights. Now that I'm older, I wonder why they even married or stuck it out. They never fight in front of us. I think that's where I started to learn that people aren't what they seemed.
The windows' lights faded before being absorbed into the thorns. Julius reached in, grabbing after it before pulling his hands out.
Are you going to stand there forever?
No. I guess there's more to see.
We just started.
The labyrinth stretched on and on. Every few feet, the walls stood solid, with a turn either left or right. The view never changed, the same possibility, the same scenery. The bluebird just flew in front of Julius, humming softly to no one in particular. Julius wondered if this was just a dream or a hallucination. Did he kill himself? But why?
When you die, your memories start to go.
I'm noticing. Why is that?
Because it's history. There's no point in looking backwards when there's so much ahead.
So my life doesn't matter?
Why would it?
I don't know. I just figured we were all born for some kind of reason. Like life mattered.
That's just your reason. But why should the world care?
Because, I don't know. It's the right thing to do?
When you died, how many billions of people did you never pay attention to? Never bothered or were able to get to know? That's the problem with humans. It's always me, me, me. You never just enjoy the moment. Always concerned with a million things that don't concern you.
Yeah, well, what are you then, for being so superior?
Again, another trait. I'm not superior. I'm not beneath you. I am, that's all. And right now, I'm a bluebird. I'm pretty sure you should know that much.
And what am I?
Julius stood in place for a moment before looking around. There was no light besides the bluebird. As if on cue, the bluebird landed on a branch, before looking down at him, chirping softly.
That's up to you to decide. Maybe you're someone. Maybe you're no one. All I know is that you came here willingly.
Why would I do that? You think I wanted this?
I don't know what you wanted, but your actions led you here. My job is to show you the way if you choose to follow it.
And if I don't?
You felt the sand pull you in before, right? You'll just simply stop existing.
Isn't that what I wanted?
Only one way to find out. We just have to keep moving forward. I can see a window up ahead. Why don't you see what you can find?
I'm not sure if I want to find out.
Sometimes you have to push to get an answer, even if you don't want to or feel like it's overwhelming.
I suppose so.
Julius slowly walked over to the window and looked in. The scene pierced his brain like a lightning bolt. He stood alone in the rain, in the middle of a city. The neon lights contrasted the darkness, interrupting every few seconds by the headlights of a passing car. Julius stood alone, feeling the chill seep into his bones. A door opened out of the side of a building. A woman stepped out, screaming after him.
Where are you going? Get back here!
Leave me alone! Leave me alone!
Where are you going to go?
Does it matter to you?
I'm standing in the rain. Of course it matters. Oh, Jesus, Jewel, I'm trying to help you.
I'm just in the way, so just leave me alone!
I didn't mean it!
You did.
Julius turned around, looking at her, feeling the traffic inching closer to his back, feeling the desperation. He wiped at his eyes. He couldn't tell if it was the rain or his tears at this point.
Stop chasing me. You're just like everyone else.
Julius paused, snapping back into reality. The rain stopped. Angelina stopped. Even a car passing by him froze. The bluebird flew into the scene from nowhere, circling Julius.
What was this fight about?
I remember that was my girlfriend, Angela. This was a few months ago. I lost my job. We kept a really bad fight. We stormed out. I didn't have anywhere to go, so I found the first bar down the street.
Why did you fight?
She always put up with me. She pushed me. Always wanted me to do more, try more, get out of my shell. Hated when I drank. For some reason, she put up with me. After I lost my job, I don't know how to explain it. You ever get so angry that nothing can calm you down? And when people try it, it only makes it worse. I said things I can't take back. I never saw her again after that.
And does she look like she didn't forgive you?
What are you talking about? Look at her. How could she?
Look at her.
I don't.
Are you afraid?
Stop that holier-than-thou crap. I was an ass. I screamed at her, treated her like garbage because I was garbage. Why should I look at her right now?
Because she's there, and what you said and did affected her. Are you that afraid?
Yes, of course, I was afraid. You couldn't know what it was like living with someone that wonderful. God, every day she smiled and tried it. I was just a miserable failure. Why am I crying? God damn it, this is torture.
Look at her.
The bluebird crashed into Julius, knocking him onto the ground. The neon lights kept flickering, burning into his eyes, reflecting off the frozen rain. He wanted to run, to sink, to die. Anything but face her. Anything but look her in the eye and see the pain he must have caused her. The pity in her eyes.
Every drop of rain leaves a ripple. Pretending that you had no effect on someone, that you're nothing but empty air passing through the street. It's easy. But there's your proof. Someone reacted to you.
Angela?
Julius got up and started to walk over slowly. Angelina was holding her mouth, kneeling on the ground. The pain was visible, stretched across her face. Julius collapsed in front of her, slamming his fist on the ground, screaming.
Why are you showing me this? Haven't I suffered enough for you?
Suffering is a part of the journey. It's a beautiful thing.
How could you say that?
Why would she make that face? Despite everything you just said, despite the way you describe yourself as garbage.
I don't know.
Bull, tell me why.
She loved me. She loved me, and I just walked away from her. I can't believe I walked away. I never deserved her.
Julius threw his arms around her, softly sobbing. The rain continued. Angelina's arms pulled him in close.
I'm so sorry, Angela.
It's okay. Everything is going to be okay.
Oh, it's not. I'm dead. I killed myself.
I never said you were dead.
What did you say?
Just come back to me.
A bright light flashed, blinding Julius for a moment. He stood alone in a hallway. Doors on all sides, and a soft fluorescent light bobbing back and forth.
Enough of this. What do you mean I'm not dead? Where are you?
There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out. But I'm too tough for him. I say, stay in there. I'm not going to let anybody see you.
Where are you?
Charles Bukowski. He always had a way with words.
What's the point of this? Why are you tormenting me?
I'm not tormenting you.
Let me out of here!
You scream, let me out. But you won't open any doors?
You want me to open a door? Is that it?
Julius walks around the endless hallway. Every door looks different. Some are worn, some are broken, antiquated, fresh, made of wood, made of steel, and rust. He places his hand on a door that reminds him of his porch door as a child. He opens the door and gets engulfed by a ray of light.
There's a bluebird in my heart that wants to get out, but I'm too clever. I only let him out at night, sometimes when everyone's asleep. I say, I know that you're there, so don't be sad.
Julius looks at his hands. It's the first thing he notices. They're small. He goes to speak and notices his voice has changed.
Bluebird? Hey!
Julius opens the door. A quiet suburban street lit by a fading street lamp. A car drives down the street before pulling into another driveway.
I can't be that.
Then he hears it. The conversation from around the corner. The settling of dinner plates. His mother, his father, and his little brother. Julius's heart starts to beat out of control. Running to the corner, he almost trips.
A famous writer once said, you can't go home again. Do you know why?
The familiar glow of the light. The smell of Mom's home-cooked meal. The smiles on everyone's faces.
What's wrong with you? Come on, sit down.
Honey, are you okay? You look white as a sheet.
You see a ghost or something?
I did.
Home isn't just a place. It's a moment.
Julius starts to cry. He collapses to the ground. His mother runs over to him, putting her hand on his shoulder, not noticing the bluebird landing on his shoulder.
Why am I seeing this? It never happened.
What if I told you that dreams and memories are part of something bigger than you could ever imagine?
I'd say whatever it is, it's wasting its time with me.
So, you don't miss your parents? When was the last time you saw them?
That's none of your goddamn business.
This isn't about me. This is about you.
I guess I just got scared, that's all. That's a lie. Why can't I just say it? Why is it so hard? This is all fake, isn't it? Some delusion while the bullet destroys what's left of my brain.
So say it!
I'm sorry. I'm sorry for who I grew up to be. I'm sorry I walk out that door exactly 7 years from now and I never look back. I never call, I never check on you. You chase me down and I'd take a few bucks here and there, but I just couldn't face you. I couldn't look you in the eyes and say that I'm pathetic. How could I? Mom. Dad. Brandon.
Hey, why don't we go out for a bit?
Where to?
Whenever I had a heart-to-heart with my dad, it was always over a game of catch.
Your dad?
That's right. You never asked your parents about their lives, about their parents. You started getting into trouble young, having fun, defying them, but you never turned and asked them how they ended up where they are.
Julius held a glove on his hand, standing in the front yard, looking at his father wind up. His father threw the ball. Julius caught it.
We never really got to talk man-to-man, did we?
No, I was in my own world and you had more important things to do.
You were the most important thing in the world. You and your brother, and even your mother. We fight. Maybe you can understand why. Is there someone special in your life?
Someone too special. I don't deserve her.
Of course you do. She loves you, right?
I think so.
When it comes to love, there's no room for doubt. Does she love you?
The way she ran after me in the rain, apologizing, crying, of course she did. There was no way I didn't love her. I can still remember the way she felt, her scent, in my arms. Yeah, she loved me all right.
Then you don't need to have any doubt. Go to her.
But I don't deserve her.
Let's see if you can catch the knuckleball.
Julius threw the ball hard. His father jumped and caught it. He grinned, looking at it in the mitt.
Let me tell you something my father told me. The only person you need to prove yourself to is the man looking back from the mirror. Do you think you're a good person?
I don't know.
Then you don't think you're a good person. Let me ask you this. What now?
I don't know what you mean.
It's easy.
Julius's father throws the ball back at Julius. Julius barely catches it.
Are you going to go on the way you always have? Is that good enough for you? Watching that girl walk out of your life? I can tell you right now, I wish I had sat down with your mother and figured something out. I wish I'd listened to her more. Just like my father, I never listened to anyone but myself. I set a horrible example for you without really meaning to.
You did the best you can.
No, I didn't. And neither did you.
But Mom, she always
took care of you two. She always intervened and made sure you had everything you could ever want. She put up with me. I'll never know why. Christ almighty. Why did that girl put up with you?
I don't know.
Because she sees the same thing I've always seen in you. I'm proud of you. You may not have made the best choices, but you never stopped moving.
Dad.
Julius, grown again, drops the baseball. It slowly rolls down the road. He wipes at his eyes furiously.
Come home.
A loud, piercing beat echoes. The earth shakes, rumbles.
Dad!
The house. His father is immediately separated by a large crack in the ground, moving away. His father, his mother, his brother, watching him before disappearing into a white mist.
He seemed nice.
Can't you just leave me alone?
Not while there's work to be done.
I didn't even get to say goodbye.
Who said you needed to?
I don't know anymore.
Julius stood in front of a door, standing in the middle of the field, surrounded on all sides by a white horizon. He slowly walks over to it, stepping into the darkness.
Bluebird Part One was written and directed by Justin Morton, produced by Sasha Bloor, edited by Sasha Bloor and Justin Morton, with sound effects and music from Epidemic Sound. Theme by Ryan Smolik and Lucas Dorsey. voiced by Sasha Bloor. Starring Joshua Presley, Sasha Bloor, E.S. Henry and Alex Tricamo. If you enjoyed the episode, why not visit our website at www.radioverse.online, where you can find out more about the cast. Or, alternatively, you can become a Patreon at our Patreon, www.patreon.com/radioverse. This will help fund the work that we do here. Plus, you'll receive exclusive benefits such as merchandise and early access to episodes. Another way that you can support the podcast is by following us on Twitter and retweeting our episodes. Be sure to share the episodes with everyone that you know so that we can continue to expand the Radioverse. Thank you for listening.